Update 1. Hey, guys. So I didn't apologize to my mother and neither did I get back in touch with her after I went through the comments here. I don't owe her as much as I thought I did, and the fact that I even offered to take her on vacation should have been enough for her to appreciate my efforts, but she just had to take it way too far. Not only did she demand that I let her bring her family along, but also that I give up my personal space and privacy to accommodate her stepkids. I don't even understand why exactly she'd expect me to sit with them and discuss things like a family when they're not even my family in the first place. Like, her husband is her husband and not my dad, and her kids are her stepkids, not my siblings. So I don't owe it to them to have any discussions with them of any sort. And I only abandoned them because they'd been incredibly disrespectful towards me, even though I'd been the one to even organize this vacation for them all. So the least they could have done was show some gratitude and respect to me, but they chose not to, and I really don't see anything wrong with what I did. The only place I'd say I went wrong was the fact that I even let my mother convince me to let her bring her family along with her on the vacation. They're not my family and I don't owe it to her to let her enjoy the trip at my expense, but I thought that I needed to repay her, which is why I let myself be pushed around like this. She'd been a good mother to me, but that was no excuse for her to act so entitled now, and that's just my opinion. It's been one whole day and I haven't responded to her, but she keeps texting me on and off. I haven't bothered to check her texts, and neither have I blocked her since then. She'll just make another account to bother me. So it's better to just let her ramble on and on since I've muted her and won't be bothered now. I'm enjoying my trip solo now. Update 2. Lol. My mom just showed up with the rest of her family at the hotel I'm staying at and threw a tantrum in the hotel lobby when they refused to let her up to see me or even tell them my room number, which is just normal hotel policy. I don't know why she was surprised at that. But anyway, when I went down to check out what she was here for, she was furious and pulled me aside before yelling at me for what I'd done. Apparently, they'd somehow managed to check out of the previous hotel by coordinating with their bank and paying them off somehow, but now, they wanted me to answer them as to why exactly I'd abandoned them. I didn't think I owed them an explanation at all, but I still told her the exact reason that I'd left her and watched as her husband's face became more and more sour looking. By the time I was done talking, he looked like he was ready to burst with annoyance at me, but I didn't care. It was his own fault that they had to suffer like this, and if he'd just been nice and polite to me, then I wouldn't have run away at all, so it was pointless to make faces at me to try and guilt trip me. It was also pointless to lecture me about family values and morals, which is what my mother chose to do. She told me that what I'd done was unacceptable, and the way I'd chosen to deal with this situation was not only humiliating for them, but it was also a pathetic move on my part because it made me look like a coward who was too afraid to talk to her own family. I was already pretty pissed off, and when she brought up the whole family thing yet again, I had a bit of an outburst and told her that we were not a family at all. Because first of all, she'd lied to us and hidden this so-called family of hers from us for a long time and had only deemed it important enough to let us know when she was about to get married. Not only that, but also, she and her husband had never made an effort to make me feel like family at all, so it was really entitled of them to expect that I'd treat them as such. She should have just been glad that I offered to take them on vacation for her sake only, but if she was too blind and entitled to even appreciate that, then so be it. I didn't owe her anything either then. I told her to her face that now, I didn't want to see her anymore and I wanted them to leave me alone for the rest of the vacation. She tried to demand that I book their flight tickets back home, but I refused since, like I already said, I'd done what I'd promised, but if they couldn't appreciate that, then I wasn't some fool who was going to go out of my way to help them. They were both adults, they had their own money, and if they were going to take me for granted, then they could kiss my offer goodbye. There was some more bickering after that, but then my stepdad had the good sense to intervene and took them all away, all the while shooting me the nastiest looks that he possibly could. As if I'd even care. A couple of hours have passed since then, and right now, I'm on my way out for dinner with a friend of mine who lives here and reached out to me when she found out that I was visiting. Hopefully, my mom and her family will just go back home and let me enjoy the rest of this trip on my own, because I really have no interest in continuing this unnecessary fight. Update 3. So, turns out I was wrong about my mother letting go of this as easily as I'd thought she was going.